Let's try again.
Not yet.
Oh, now it's live. Oh gosh. I hope I didn't. All right, well, we're live.
You almost ended it, huh?
Yeah, I almost ended it.
Hello, everyone around the globe. How's it going? A beautiful day in paradise. Carnivore Mike is with us from Indonesia.
Hello. Nice to be
Hello,
here.
Dr. Nelson from beautiful Central Florida, and Alia from Colombia, South America.
Good
Kiltz
morning,
is in Sarasota
everyone.
today. Another beautiful day in God's paradise. Sarasota under a lunar eclipse. I did look out there. It looked very interesting today.
Oh wow.
Really?
That's what let's see. Van Dan 3960 has to say.
Apparently, supposed to have a full moon. And so, what time was the eclipse?
I don't know.
Is it later today?
I'll have to do some research. So, Carnivore Dan, what time is it where you are in this world?
Currently, it's exactly 6 p.m.
And what date is it?
It's March 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
He's 12 hours ahead of us.
Yeah, 12 hours ahead. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
So I'm living in the future, kind of.
Yeah.
Ahead of us.
Yes.
Tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah, how's today going to go for us?
It's going to be a full meaty day.
Well, why don't we start it off, Dr. Nelson? Right?
All righty. So don't forget to put your questions in the chat. #KMT for a chance to win. What, Alia, today?
Let's do a baseball cap.
Baseball, KMT baseball cap.
Mm-hmm.
Please put the questions. Sometimes you don't put them quick enough. We don't have a bunch of questions, but please put the questions in the chat. And Mike, how long have you been carnivore?
I've been carnivore for 5 years now. This March actually is my 5th year.
Awesome.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us your carnivore story. And you got sick, you got better.
Yeah. Well, I've been carnivore for 5 years. I used to play for the national ice hockey team in Indonesia. So I've actually pioneered the national team. Long story short, I retired in 2018. Being an athlete, and as I started pretty young, I started playing since I was 12, I think. I got used to the habit of eating the healthy diet, right? It's the standard nutrition for athletes, basically. But after I retired in 2018, right after we got our first medal, my body crashed, like literally. In less than a year, I blew up. I gained about 20 kilos at least until I hit about 110 kilos, like a few years after. And the scary part, I wasn't eating junk food. Sure, I wasn't as strict as when I was still active as an athlete, but it's still with the athlete's mindset. It's still high protein, minimal processed food, a lot of fiber, a lot of veggies and fruits, right? That's basically how I ate most of the time. Because in Indonesia, we don't actually have high, fast food culture like in the US. We have a culture of street vendors. We actually have a lot of options for protein. We have chickens, we have fish, we have cows, we have everything. But I was blind to the sugar in the sauces and the high carb loads during those times. So looking back, I realized my body was always struggling with this. Since I was a kid, my cranial area was my weak link. I've worn glasses since I was 10. I had lazy eyes, if you can see right now, probably. I've had this since I was a kid. And I've had terrible teeth too, like a very, very weak teeth. Of course, playing hockey didn't help that part. But back in the 90s, nobody told us that bath teeth were signs of malnutrition from a high carb diet, right? So when I retired, that weakling shattered. From 2018 to 2021, I was a zombie basically. My labs, my cholesterol, my glucose, EGFR were all considered normal at the time, but I was dying. Like I was 110 kilo. It's kind of funny that our doctors actually thought I was okay, right? So that inflammation went straight to my head, and every day I have to take a lot of what do you call the medicine? What do you call the medicine? Oh, mefenamic acid. I had to take mefenamic acid like 3 to 4 pills a day just to function because my headaches were killing me. Like doctors told me that I have nerve damage. Some of them told me I had clot. Some of them told me I have fatty liver. All kinds of diagnosis, but never a solution. All kinds of drugs, but never a solution. Right. So I hit a breaking point. And I thought, is this it? Like I'm in my early 40s at the time. Am I supposed to give up and just accept that I have to live with drugs for the rest of my life? Until I found, funnily enough, keto diets, right? At the time, it was 2019, keto diets. And funnily enough, it's actually one of Dr. Kiltz videos. So this meeting is kind of like full circle to me. It's awesome. So thank you, Dr. Kiltz, for encouraging me to actually try, because I'll be honest with you, at the time I'm still brainwashed that thinking about cholesterol is the enemy, right? It's gonna kill me. But I was desperate. I thought to myself, well, if I was gonna die from high cholesterol, at least I died trying to fix myself. Right? So I followed advice like you guys, yeah, like you and a lot of other guys, and just in the first week, and this isn't me exaggerating, just in the first week, from being 110 kilos, normally, even if I slept for 12 hours, I needed 45 minutes every morning just to get all the blood to circulating to my joints so I can wake up or summon the will to wake up at least. But at the first week trying the keto diet, all the joint pains, all the gouts, all the weaknesses gone. I literally jumped out of bed. My wife was like, "What are you doing? You can hurt. You'll hurt yourself, right?" I told her, but this is the first time I felt hope, right? So I knew right then that I was going in the right direction, and it continued until now. And I'm glad I made the jump. So yeah, that's basically it.
So, what has inspired you to share with us and others about this way of eating?
Well, I'm not trying to slander anyone, but the medical professionals here and in developed countries is way different. When we go, like when we go to doctors, even for a cold, they will prescribe us at least 3 different drugs. I don't know if you know this, Dr. Kiltz, but it's common practice here in Southeast Asia. It's very different than my aunt who lives in the Netherlands. Her blood sugar was 450 at the time. She went to the doctor. The doctor said, change your diet, exercise, wait for 3 months, and come back. But here, it's definitely going to be metformin, all kinds of anti-blood pressure medicine, maybe some vitamin supplements, and all these kind of things. It's very so. I couldn't stand my family, seeing my family, my friends, who were actually really, we were all fat. Let's just be honest. We were all fat. I couldn't stand seeing them like having the illusion of their being healthier just because their blood markers are okay because of these medicines, right? But they're still feeling like I did when I was 110 kilos. So I decided to make information like just basic physiological and biochemistry information. I simplified it so like normal people can understand, and hopefully they can learn on their own. They can help others. That's my goal, basically.
Is there a simple story to all of this that we're all missing?
A simple story of?
You said, well, do we make it much more complicated? I mean, the medical system is an authoritative, complicated, scientific rules. And
Yes.
there are rules that, you got to have the right macros. You got to, eat healthy. When you hear the word healthy, and then we're like, oh my God, it's sort of like we have to find the right way to eat and live as an ancient human.
Yes. Yes, actually, it's one of the things you thought, that we need to eat like our ancestors, right? And after we did this, it was actually really simple. It's really, really simple. You just eat the most nutritious thing, eat whenever you're hungry, and stop when you're not hungry, and that's it. That made everything. This was actually the easiest diet I've been on for the past 5 years. I've tried all kinds of diet.
What is your daily consumption of food, and when do you eat it?
I normally eat around 2 to 3 p.m. usually after my workouts, after I've done some work. Basically, it's usually 2 to 3 p.m. However, I noticed that now on my 5th year, I consume less and less. Like, I keep needing less. So
And
I
you eat only once a day?
Yes, I only eat once a day. And I actually have a content on my Instagram that I did a 5-day fast, just eating once a day, the day before. And there's no spike in energy. There's no crashes, nothing. So I think if you need numbers, it's probably around 500 grams a day of meat, whether it's chicken, whether it's fish, whether it's beef. I eat mostly beef, though.
And how do you get your fiber?
I don't.
We've been led astray, and we're working to help teach our medical brothers and sisters, and our scientific brothers and sisters, and our primarily plant-based brothers and sisters that ultimately we've been taught the wrong advice, and that's our biggest problem.
I agree.
Biggest problem.
Yes.
It
So
is.
can I ask you something, Dr. Kiltz? Like,
Please.
you've been educating people like from 2017, 18, I believe, about ketogenic, about low carb. What are the biggest challenge for you as a professional in the medical industry? Like, I really want to know. I think in Indonesians, also doctors in Indonesia, I feel like they need to know this, that it's actually a real thing, ketogenic, low carb, and carnivore, but the challenges are also real, right? So I want them to hear this straight from you.
To change our mindset, this is our biggest challenge, and to be open-minded. What I've found in general is that we in science and the medical professions, really in so many of all professions, we become very, very bogged down in the beliefs we've been taught, and we're not open to opposite ideas. And I had a discussion with a podcaster recently, really, a highly respected person, and even us in the keto carnivore world, we're highly judgmental of others with really crazy radical ideas. And it's, how does the body work? Is there hard science? Is there absolute truth to the stories we tell, or not? So I would say it's open-mindedness is my seeing and knowing that most people, because in order to be a professional doctor in our environments, we need to follow the rules. Because if you don't, what do we call it, Dr. Nelson? I mean, there are standards of care, right? And if you're
guidelines
and standards of care, and if you're not following these, And probably the same thing in Indonesia. You go to the doctor and they give you these medications, and because this is the standard that has been created, and if you're outside of that, you will be chastised and you could lose your license to practice medicine.
I understand that completely because I've had a lot of doctors talk with me every day. Some of them are actually carnivores, but they are not allowed. They are instructed directly. They are not allowed to promote ketogenic or carnivore. Otherwise, they will lose their license. They will get blacklisted. All these things. So that's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the hardest part. And even talking to our patients about these things, there's a little bit of consideration that we're a little crazy, and they come to us, many of them, for what they hear and think they know as the standard practice of what we do, and they came for shot pill surgery. Now, I'm not chastising anyone in this because it's the nature of all of us. When it's and keto and carnivore, it's like changing your politics or religion, or your culture that you were raised in, and it's so foreign to our brain. But I do believe the beauty is with social media expanding our methods of sharing ideas around the globe. It's changing the face, but it takes time, persistence, and you can only, people hang out, they like, oh, there's another keto carnivore stuff, let me go on, oh, well, here's a lie, oh, who are these crazy people, and talking about these things, and they label themselves carnivores. Well, they must be crazy. Two crazy ketos, right? And crazy carnivores.
So what do your family think about the way you eat? I mean, 5 years, you've already, most of the close family, friends, circle of people probably know the way you eat. What do they think?
So my family is, I'm actually pretty lucky. My family is very supportive of me because they saw it with their own eyes, right? From 110 kilo, now I'm back to 67 kilograms and fit. And
how tall are you?
I am 168 centimeters, so about 5'6", pretty short.
Tall,
anyways,
tall,
not really.
tall.
Yeah,
5'6", tall.
Yeah, and anyway, so my family has been pretty supportive of me, but I know my friends' family and a lot of I do have a Facebook community called Carnivore Indonesia. We're actually gonna have our first event of 200 people on April 18th. So I'm gonna send you pictures if you want. And a lot of them actually. So there's a lot of culture in Indonesia, like you said. It's same like changing religion, changing culture. I agree. We have a lot of culture in Indonesia, as like, for example, ethics. If I invite you to my house, and I invite you to eat, and you don't eat, that can be an issue. That really can be a big issue. There's also a very strong myth in Indonesia that if you haven't eaten rice, then you haven't eaten. So that's like after you eat a lot of meat, you have to eat rice.
I actually just put a question for you there, Ali, if you can bring it up, because it has to do with what he's talking about.
And we got several questions here. Let me see. Where is your okay? In Indonesia, rice is often seen as a life-giving staple. How do you address the cultural fear that you haven't eaten if you haven't eaten rice?
Exactly. This is a very famous one. Well, like I said, at the time I was desperate, right? So I will follow people like crazy doctors like Dr. Kiltz if it saved me, right? So, but it did. So I learned that carbs are not essential, fibers aren't essentials. Therefore, I would I would now position myself as kind of like a zealot, kind of like a fanatic sometimes, because I would have to reject a lot of cultures, and maybe it offends people, but I always told them this: if I get sick again, if I get fat again, who's gonna pay my hospital bill? You? No, it came out of my pocket. I already spent like I don't know how many grand, but I don't want to have to go through that again. So it's kind of my positioning is kind of like this. It may sound harsh for a lot of Southeast Asian culture, but it really depends, right? It really depends whether how desperate are you. I think that's what I think.
Are you seeing more people that are coming to the keto carnivore lifestyle and sharing it in Indonesia?
Yes, very much so. It's really funny. Even old guys, old people, like there's this old lady at my gym. She's like 20 years older than me. She came up to me and, how do I start keto? Do I need grass-fed beef? I was like, where did you learn this? So yeah, I agree that social media really helps spread the information. And the point of my community and my page is to direct those people so they don't do the wrong style of keto, do the wrong style of carnivore, or get tricked by some supplement selling guys or whatever.
We got a question here. Teresa Sample Anderson. I want to try carnivore, but at 58 and not as healthy as most. I'm afraid all the fat and cholesterol may hurt myself more. I did keto, dirty keto, when I was in my 30s and lost 60 pounds in 5 months. What should I look for if I go carnivore in my first 30 days to know if it's hurting me? Is it safe for all to do?
Mike.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. These are live questions, yeah?
Yeah. These are live questions happening right now.
So, Teresa, if you're talking about safe, carnivore is safe because basically that's how we're supposed to eat. That's a species appropriate diet. When you did dirty keto and losing 60 pounds is a sign of that, right? Sign of positive things. What you should look for in your first 30 days, the most and crucial thing is probably salt intake, because you're changing from a high insulin load to a low insulin load, which means you're gonna hold a lot less salt. You're gonna need salt to keep you hydrated, to keep your electrolytes, so you don't get that keto flu, or you don't have you don't have the symptoms as bad as if you're dehydrated. So yeah, it's actually safe for everyone. If you're afraid of cholesterol, it's 2026. Cholesterol was never the cause. Cholesterol is just the indicator of your metabolic context. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Kiltz. Like, it's not supposed to be a indicator of cause of cardiovascular disease, but it could be an indicator whether you're sick or whether you're healthy. So yeah, go for it, Teresa.
No, you're absolutely right. It's an interesting one. If someone goes on a carnivore diet, let's just go radical. How many of them on a carnivore diet become anorexic, bulimic, and sick?
0.
But if you go on a plant-based diet, counting calories, liver damage, bulimia, cachexia, sarcopenia are common. And because it's interesting about comments. I did dirty keto and I lost a bunch of pounds, but nobody on carnivore really does the fatty meat becomes anorexic. They don't become ultra skinny. They lose the appropriate extra weight. I mean, ultimately, and some people don't lose a lot of weight, but they feel better on carnivore. I mean, is there any human that shouldn't do carnivore? Dr. Nelson, Mike, what are your thoughts?
Oh, sorry. Dr. Nelson, got to take yourself off mute.
I think it depends on their blood type. However, if it's red, you can do carnivore.
Well, if it's a cow blood or a human blood, I mean, that's, it's sort of like the simplicity of the story. And we've just been brainwashed by the political, geopolitical, even the religious dictators of the world that basically want to control us. And now the story is out. Freedom is upon us, right? That you can eat some rice sometimes, but your staple is not rice, is fatty meat.
Yes.
And carnivore lions don't eat all the time, do they?
No, they don't.
And would you say that when you went carnivore, the urge to eat all the time vanished?
Oh, it really does. It seems like eating is not a priority at times, Eating is basically I just want to get things done, get my work done, and I haven't eaten. Okay, well, what do we have in the fridge? Let's see. Oh, I'm lazy to cook. Then don't eat. It's that simple.
Your more problem is food access. You're not hunting and gathering anymore. They're delivering. And the delivery system is a moneymaker. It starts with the sale of the food. Then it goes right to all the diseases we get, the doctors, drugs, dissections, and more, which ultimately keep us weak and meek and controlled. Slaves, soldiers, peasants, and prisoners. All of us around the world. All peoples around the world are being captured, controlled, and killed on a plant protein, low animal fat diet.
Pratam, let's say that. Okay, what if we don't get red meat, only eat chicken and eggs? Is that good for a long time, considering, I guess, World War III is near and I only have a chicken farm? There you go.
Mike?
Me again?
Yeah. You're our Indonesian expert today.
All questions are for you.
So this is one of the most popular topics in our community as well, because of the fear of omega-6 and omega-3, right? But I always told them it's really fine to eat chicken and eggs, because at the end of the day, they're still protected by saturated fat, which is going to help you. And eggs are actually the real superfood. So yeah, you can. Here's the thing, though. I always taught them this: if our ancestors can live eating just once a week, you can live with chickens if you eat 3 times or 2 times a day. So we're in an abundance of food. So be sure, pick the right food. Chicken and eggs are fine.
Now, should he eat only the chicken breast to get rid of the skin and the organs? And
no, of course not. You need fat. Fat is the key of life. It's the basic thing you need for your hormones, for your whole body function, for your cholesterol. So yeah, you shouldn't. It's 2026, like I said. You shouldn't fear meat. I've had a lot of content in my Instagram and my TikTok teaching about the history of how cholesterol becomes the fear-mongering thing that it is today, and how the industry tricked us in this, like Dr. Kiltz explained to you guys. So here, the expert, not just me. If you don't believe me, there's Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Nelson and Alia here, who are more experienced than me, more credible than me. So no, I'm not talking out of my bum.
The explorers explored and exploited the exploitable around the globe. And basically, we're all captured slaves around the world. We're living a slave, soldier, peasant, and prisoner lifestyle. They controlled us because they captured us through commerce and control of commerce, taxes, tariffs, and controlling, and basically saying, here's the food you're going to eat. And there is meat, but it's lean meat. This is part of the biggest problem when you go to the butcher. You're getting a pieces of the chicken or of the fish or of the beef or of the lamb or of the goat. And the thing that nobody cares about is fat.
Yeah, true. Fat was demonized for so long because they knew it will make us stronger. That's why I didn't realize you're that adamant about them controlling. So I'm actually at the same position as you are. I always thought my community. I know that land is expensive in the U.S., right? But here is a lot cheaper. I told my community, you guys got to be independent. You have to have your own land, eat from them, be free from being slaves of the industry. Us living in the city, it's a whole different story, but we'll find a way towards that as well. But you guys living in the rural area, don't come here. Just learn how to farm, learn how to self-sustain your land, like these kind of things, and start eating animal-based at least. So you can free from all this, free from the medicine, free from drugs and the propaganda, like you said, Dr. Kiltz.
Medicine sometimes is needed, but we probably use and prescribe too much of it.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't.
I agree,
I mean, it's always the yin and the yang. It's the difficulty of this. The challenge of. I mean, life is hard no matter where you are or when it was, but the problem is it's all comfort today.
Yeah,
it's delivery, it's couches, it's constant entertainment, and putting it away is really, really hard. It's changing.
There's a lot of chains now.
Yeah, a lot. The chain, the food chain.
That's the main one. Yeah.
Right. But so it all goes back to we're chained by the chains of those to control the chains, and it's weapons. If you control the weapons, you control the world. And that's what all this fighting is about, right? And our message. And even in America, a huge amount of control that is really, really tough. You want to read that? Indonesian people almost all thinking. Now protein can
ruin and destroy the kidney. They're thinking root cause, I guess, from uric acid, joint pain, from animal protein.
Well, nobody eats protein, by the way. You either eat animals or plants. In every cell of every animal, every organism is fats, sugars, and proteins. You know what fat looks like. We can really only adequately identify adipose tissue, but olive oil is not a fat. It's a extracted, rendered product from a plant. And the last I looked, it's poisonous, but a protein-centric diet is a deadly human diet.
There you go. I like this question. We have more, but I just saw this one. How about implementing complementary feed food for babies above 6 months? I'm a pediatrician and interested about carnivore for babies after breast milk. Are there any protocols? There
are no carnivore protocols, but please email me, Nelson at DrKiltz.com. I want to talk to you, pediatrician. Okay.
Well, if you go to Babies for Babies, we talk about this in on our blogs, and ultimately from milk from a breast to meat from the bone. This is really our ancient heritage. We stopped breastfeeding too early, and we then move our babies to a high plant-based, low animal fat diet, and so absolutely. Bone marrow, bone broth, brains, fatty meat, organ meats are all part of a healthy diet, because plants are very antigenic, allergenic, and they ferment in the gut. Fermentation makes alcohol in all of our children. Autism, ADHD, depression, all these things are rampant in our children, and their bowel problems. I had bowel problems and migraines as a child, and a plant protein-centric diet which is basically a plant lean meat diet, is our fermentable diet. And fat, adipose tissue, raw fat, has all the building blocks for a baby. And so I think, connecting with Dr. Nelson is really great. Look at our websites, drkiltz.com and Kiltz Health, but look at our books, Kiltz's Keto is Carnivore and the Babies for Babies book, which talks about exactly this.
Yeah. I'm specifically working on some research regarding pediatric age patients regarding, very low carbohydrate diets and carnivore diets. That's why I want to talk to her.
Yeah. And high fat. This is where I think we're missing the whole, we say a keto diet, a paleo diet, a carnivore diet are high fat diets. They're not low carb diets. And I just really, animal fat centric is really the healthiest thing we can do. And that's what we're missing, because we're all like, well, protein now is the anti-carbohydrate. But again, protein poisoning is real. Go ahead, Ali, Dr. Nelson.
This next one is, so you don't eat vegetables? Mike, do you eat vegetables?
Oh, what carnivore eats vegetable? That's an interesting question.
Back when I was in high school, I cooked at KFC. Don't eat it. No, don't eat it.
Well, again, why not? What is it about KFC chicken? Is it just nice chicken fried in tallow, lard, and here's your fried chicken?
Nope.
Or is it breaded, sugared, and injected, and it's
fried in an oil that is not
plant oil,
beef tallow?
Right?
Yeah,
right. And remember, when you boil anything at high temperatures, it renders the fat away. That's why if you fry a potato, all you're doing is boiling at a higher temperature. And if you dip it in sour cream or duck grease mayonnaise, butter mayonnaise, you're getting more fat. So sugars and proteins are metabolized in the liver via insulin to fat. So that's why we got it wrong. It's fat-centric diets you want to focus on, not protein or low carb. Low to no plants.
Here's another one. Being Indonesia. Many people in Indonesia still believe and say that if you don't consume carbohydrates, your testosterone levels will drop. What do you think, Dr. Kiltz?
Well, most people are consuming a high plant carbohydrate diet, and their testosterone is in the toilet. But even if it's not in the toilet, their functionality is in the toilet. Libido's down. They can't get an erection, hold it up. Their sperm is bad. And so ultimately, and plants contain testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. So basically what that does is it estrogenizes males and it androgenizes females. So, what do I say about it? I know people believe, but remember, our beliefs are all propagandized by the people that I call them the friends of Jeffrey that want to control us around the world in the money.
That's what Eric says. Oh, go ahead.
Got up about 1 a.m. I wasn't sleepy, and I ran across a short from you talking, but it was an interview with Grant Cardone, which was about 2 years ago. Anyways, it was specifically about this topic, and I started reading the comments, by the way, and kind of all over the place, including the fact, a recent comment that said, that's why he now came against the carnivore diet. Talking about you.
Oh, right. I'm against the carnivore diet. I'm absolutely against the carnivore diet. I think it's the worst diet that humanity has
Don't
created.
eat it. Leave the cows alone.
Interesting.
Oh my God. Eric says his testosterone went from 380 to 800 on carnivore.
But this is actually universal. A lot of guys, a lot of older guys in our community, 60, 70, they keep reporting the same thing. Testosterone went up to 800, 900.
My testosterone did not rise.
Oh, really?
That's correct. But the function of my testosterone cells work fine.
When was the last time you checked it, though?
Oh, about a year or two ago.
Okay.
Look, all I can tell you is that, again, the numbers lie. All right. So remember, there's a range for everything anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of the testing is actually a deception. Oh my God, my numbers aren't good. Wow. It's remember, you were graded in school, correct?
Yes.
Do grades help us or hurt us?
Actually hurting us. Yeah.
Comparison is deadly.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, they keep on doing it in a CAC score, CT angiograms, cholesterol levels, HDL or LDL and HDL levels, all these things that, well, did you check your levels yet? Because the diagnostic therapeutic connection, even in the keto carnivore world, well, my numbers are this. Well, what do I do? And I always ask, are you breathing? Your heart beating? And how do you feel? How do you feel? That's really the master magic.
We get a lot of those
and
people.
even in Dave Feldman's work on the cholesterol code, which is excellent. Dr. Nelson and Alia put a link in to the movie. He went out there to sort of show something and do some work and try to do some science. And it's a system. It's a system of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
We did talk about babies doing carnivore, but what about children doing carnivore? Should children also carnivore?
No, once they become a certain age, that should go to plant-based only, and then they're gonna have to learn for themselves. I mean, I think what we're saying, Mike, you want to take this one and you want to kick it out of the park, or you're a pucker, right? You're a hockey pucker. What is that? Clear it across the ice.
Yeah, children should definitely be carnivore since, like Dr. Nelson said, their blood is red. They're also Homo sapiens, so which means the digestive system all work the same.
I mean, Dr. Nelson, did you have health issues as a child, as an adolescent, as a teenager?
Not really.
I had migraines, I had bowel problems, and it's sort of, I had relationship problems.
But as a child, the thing is, a lot of children are very resilient, or most children are. Although in this day and age, for some reason, there is such, the diet has gone, it's bunkers.
Well,
children getting type 2 diabetes.
Well, back when I was a kid, the children's hospitals were growing new wings every day.
Oh, really?
Right. So my sense is the pediatric diseases were rising like everything else, but it's sort of suddenly, in our environment of the school, where the sick people go, they don't show up, and our brains don't see that because we're segregated, and they don't want you to see and know what's really going on. how many people are dying, cancers. I remember some kids got cancers and died. And I know that I hung out in a gang and got kicked out of school. Well, how did that happen? Why couldn't I read and sit still in school? Was it because I was dumb or drugged? And cereals were a mainstay of my diet. Bananas and milk and sugar and Cheerios. Did you ever eat those things?
Yeah, actually we do. Calcium, vitamins, like very easily digested. Most important meal of the day. Yeah. Your marketing came here as well.
It's interesting though, the cognitive dissonance that sometimes we get, and we comment on children's behavior sometimes. Everybody knows, just feed the child sugar and they are hyperactive. But when the other situation happens, when the child is hyperactive, nobody thinks, okay, well, how about we don't feed them sugar? Plants, right?
What are plants made of?
Carbohydrates?
Mostly glucose.
Glucose, yeah.
Glucose. Now, again, the term carbohydrates should be kind of completely out of every cell of every organism contains sugars, proteins, and fats. All of them. Microbes, plants, and animals.
Yeah.
The number one thing we're doing is eating a low animal fat diet. Number one. What's the milk? What was the milk that they're mostly feeding you in Indonesia?
For babies, it's been strongly recommended by pediatricians that they drink a formula milk. That's been going on since the 90s.
My daughter I must admit, my daughter, and this is where the drug companies, we used to go to lunches and dinners, and we'd go to resorts, and basically I got free formula for a year or so, and then moved her on to mostly a plant protein, low fat diet.
Yeah.
And we've been so beaten into the message, the fruits and vegetables, seeds and nuts, cereal and salad. Dr. Nelson, the label heart healthy, is that on cereal boxes?
Yeah. All you have to do is pay for it.
Right on. So Cheerios pays the American Heart Association to be able to use the proprietary label.
Yeah.
Where did they put that on the butt of the beef? Is it?
They should.
Yeah. They should. Yeah.
What about this question? Do you think we need a minimal gram amount of protein per day? Like, how many grams of protein should we eat per day?
Do I answer this?
Scientism. Controlled marketing.
What is it how is it that lions calculated?
So there, if you're talking about minimal grams amount, there probably is a minimal amount, but we don't have any accurate measurement made by humans. This is one of the things I also taught my community, that you eat until you are satiated. That's the most effective measuring tools, right? Sure, you don't get it right the first time you try carnivore or keto, but after a while, you'll know when you want more protein, when you want more fat. That's the most accurate thing. And I agree with Dr. Kiltz, because what's the measurement nowadays from the bro science, like 2.2 times gram per body weight? Yeah, I call it bro science. Who can eat 2.2 grams of protein per body weight, right? That's just ridiculous. I've actually tried it because when I first started keto, I was really active, right? So I got really skinny. Then I thought I was pumping hard at the gym. I'm taking more protein, but it didn't help. No matter if I ate two times or one time, the growth is just the same. Because at the end of the day, when your body isn't disrupted by toxins from sugar, you will absorb everything easily, more efficiently, basically. That's my experience, at least.
Yesterday, I got hungry in the afternoon, so I took out some oxtails that I had actually made about 3 days before, and I had put them in the fridge because we didn't eat them right away. And you know that oxtails have this thick surrounding of fat.
Yeah.
So I only had 2 oxtails, and I was full. That was all I had yesterday. Oh, with the same meal, I had some cheese, but
yeah, same.
It's very satiating. Oh,
Very
I didn't
satiating.
get my grams of protein probably yesterday.
They say you're gonna have like sarcopenia or catabolic or whatever.
How much is a fat juicy ribeye in Indonesia?
We do have USDA prime ribeyes, but that's a lot more expensive than the Australian ones. The equivalent Australian ones will be around 750,000 USD. How much is that in USD? So it's about $45 for 1 kilogram of ribeyes.
About $20-some a pound.
Yeah, not that much different, I guess.
Any other questions, Alia?
Sorry, I was muted. But isn't it more expensive? Like, what's your economy like? What's the dollar versus the Indonesian?
So our average salary here in Jakarta is about $300 now. That's the minimum wage in Jakarta. So, assuming that the cost of Australian meat, which is the cheapest here, is about like ribeye is about $24 a pound. It's really expensive. So the way we solve this is by using like secondary cuts. That's actually one of my.
How about ground beef? How much
ground
is
beef?
It?
Yeah, also ground beef is about $7 a kilo.
Okay, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a question for Dr. Kiltz. Janice Audrey, is enough for eating only beef butter and some fish for carnivore, beef butter, eggs, and some fish. I don't need any organs. I'm PCOS. I got my period once a year. Been doing carnivore for 5 months, and my cycle is slowly improving.
I am healthy and well, and I'm a beautiful woman. I like the lioness I have been born to be. And, bacon, eggs, butter, beef, salt, intermittent feasting, Kiltz's ice cream from time to time if you choose. And I would say this is the healthiest thing. We've seen so many women with plant-caused ovarian sickness, PCOS. It's a plant protein disease. By the way, lean meat. And so, yeah, it's the very best, and keep going. But this is where fasting, to me, Dr. Nelson and I did 15. He did 22 days last year. We're going to push it again this time. Sometime this year, we'll do a 2 to 3 week fast, and we'll see and maybe we'll get to 4 weeks. I don't know. But yeah, fatty meat, salt water, and fish is okay. Chicken's okay. Goat, lamb, iguanas.
Iguanas. But
do you have
very fatty, right?
Do you have goats, lambs, both in Indonesia?
Yes, actually, goats, lambs. They're more preferred here in Indonesia, actually, considering it's a Muslim country, majority Muslim country.
Who were the invaders first to Indonesia?
The Portuguese.
The Portuguese.
And then the Dutch. Yeah.
Right. And the Portuguese came there in order to sort of bring goodwill and kindness and love.
Probably, yeah. But the Portuguese wasn't here for long. They kind of handed us over to the Dutch probably some.
Was that
bureaucrat.
peaceful?
The Portuguese, yes. The Dutch, kinda. But then after the Dutch was the worst. It's the Japanese.
But weren't the Portuguese and the Dutch and everyone on a quest for spices?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But
you got to read the Spice
they are
Island
traders.
story.
Yeah, we were the spice destination at the time. Like people from all over Europe came and took our spice. They didn't actually take our spices by force. The one who came here were like traders. They're basically traders. Like they're not the Dutch government or whatever.
Traders?
They were the VOC, if you know them. There's basically this company of traders. But they did pay our people. They didn't force us to work like the Japanese.
But that was all part of sort of the geopolitical control of the world that was going on between the Americas and the Asians. I mean, it's things happen that we don't even understand why, but ultimately it's about enslavement of the masses. And they came. And I'm not blaming anyone because this is just the nature of all humanity, right? We travel around the world for resources.
True.
Something like that.
Here we go. Let's do the giveaway real quick. Here we go. Who's going to win today? Booby Goats,
what is the most?
Oh wait, what is the most important?
Booby Goats, we love you. What is the most popular beef cut in Indonesia?
It's the one used in a dish called rendang, if you know it. It's basically parts of the chuck. That's the most popular one.
Nice.
Brainwashing. You think Kellogg's and the kings of the world are all in cahoots?
Oh yeah, Kellogg's. He had this Battle Creek Sanatorium. If I remember
it was a spa. It was a spa.
Yeah. Where important people gather, right?
Yes, kind of an island.
Kind of like an island. I was gonna say
it was absolutely an island because famous wealthy people showed up at the spa, the Kellogg spa, right?
Yeah. So, and suddenly a few years after that, there's the plant-based narrative got stronger. Then there's Ansel Keys. Then there's the AHA and Crisco thing going on. So there's got to be something there.
But where did cane sugar first grow?
I have no idea.
Indonesia.
Indonesia first?
Yes. And it was mostly fed. It was in Southeast Asia for sure, and I thought it was Indonesia. But ultimately, it was the best food for the pigs. And
we gotta get off soon.
Before we go at 3 p.m., we have a live stream at 5:30 within the community, the Zoom meeting. Okay.
And everyone can join. It's free. Join the Kiltz Mighty Tribe.
Oh, you have to be a member of the Kiltz Mighty Tribe.
And through the Kiltz Mighty Tribe, you get discounts of all the products that we've created through our Kiltz Health. And so join it. And it really is all about sharing, like Carnivore Mike and everyone else here. We appreciate everyone stopping in and sharing the message and the mighty meat eating. Go ahead, Dr. Nelson.
And this is Carnivore Mike's Instagram. If anyone wants to follow him, okay? CarnivoreMike.id.
All right.
And we appreciate the comments, questions, concerns, and hanging